Hi, this is Rich Heffron, and this is this week's Delaware State Chamber of Commerce Legislative Minute. First, we'll discuss House Bill 289, which was released by the House Labor Committee yesterday, and will be going to the House floor for a vote either next week or when they return in early June. What the bill does is essentially it makes the prevailing wage on public projects the union wage. So wherever the union wage is set, that would be the prevailing wage. Which in some ways makes things simpler. But the problem is that we've discussed many times. The prevailing wage is usually higher than what a negotiated wage would be when a company bids for a project. And what this does is two things. One, projects become more expensive. That money's coming out of the taxpayers' pocket. And secondly, you create less jobs, a higher wage, and less people you can hire. Now, we really don't care if the people working on a project are union or non-union. That doesn't matter to us. We're happy with people working. We're just worried about the bang for the buck. The other thing to remember is right now, approximately 83% of all public works projects are done by non-union companies. And people I've talked to don't think that will change much. So it's not going to help the unions much as far as hiring more union labor. But whatever, like I said, it'll be on the House floor either later next week, or maybe when they return. When they return, after next week, they recess for 2 weeks for budget discussions. When they come back in June, that's when the real fun's going to begin, because that's when they have to decide what they're going to do with this year's budget. And right now, it looks really tight and looks like it's getting tighter. Unless something changed drastically in the May and June DFAC numbers, it's going to be a very difficult June. Another issue that's out there is the casinos. The task force looking at the casinos and their viability has offered the possibility of picking up some of the expenses, such as rentals for the machines, maybe subsidizing some of the room rates for people coming to stay at the Dover Downs. Maybe some other expenses, including lowering the tax a little bit. Fact is, with a tight budget, that's going to be a little bit tougher to do. It'd be about $9 million the first year, and maybe 10 or so next year. We'll see where the numbers are. And the argument was made by Senator Bushwell, who supports that legislation, is that, look, the fact is it's not taxpayer money, really. It's the money that's earned by the casinos. So it would be as if you were in a business and they decided to take more of your money. But we'll see where they are. You must remember the casinos are important to the economy of the state, and they employ well over 2,000 people. Lastly, if you go on our website, you'll see that we are joining with as partners with the County Chamber, Newcastle County Chamber, to sponsor a trip to China, and also a second trip to Portugal and Spain. Rates are pretty reasonable. I think it's like $2,300 for the China trip, and that trip is subsidized by the Chinese government, and around $3,000 for Spain and Portugal. They're business-related trips, but this is a partnership with the Newcastle County Chamber that's been doing this for a number of years. So if you're interested in either one of those, I'd urge you to go on our website and look at that and get some of the information. That's it for this week. I'll see you again at the end of next week. Thanks.